we're going to go ahead and get our session started today. Thank you once again for joining us. You'll be listening along to this audio-only presentation. Hopefully you can hear my voice okay, and you can see the first slide of our slide deck today. Once again, you'll be in listen-only mode, so make sure and turn off your microphone and your camera. That tends to work best for these webinar presentations. And once again, if you have questions as we go along today, whether they be questions about the program itself, admissions type questions, questions about our cooperative education program, use the chat function. There should be a chat button in the upper right corner of your screen if you're joining us via computer today. Don't use the Q&A button. We don't really use that for these webinar sessions. The chat function tends to work best. Make sure that your question goes to everyone, to all attendees, all participants. That way everyone can see your question. We have a number of additional staff and faculty who are joining us today. We always want to make sure that the most appropriate person is answering your question. If you have difficulty with our session today, or if don't worry too much about it, because we'll be sharing a recording of this session with you following the event. It usually takes us a few days or up to a week for us to send out the recording, so please look out for that in your email inbox. My name is Jeff Hengel. I'm the Director of Admissions for the Graduate School of Engineering. Our featured speaker today, though, is Dr. Tom Cullinane, who's the Director of the Engineering Management Program, and so he'll be sharing with you an overview of the Engineering Management Program.
Good morning. My name is Tom Cullinane. As Jeffrey said, I'm the Director of the Engineering Management Program. I'd like to start off by giving you a little bit of background on how the Engineering Management Program was started here at Northeastern. It was in the late 1960s when a group of industrialists in the Boston area came to the university president and said that they really were getting a lot of benefit from hiring engineers from Northeastern, but they ran into a problem when the engineers had 3 to 5 years experience. They weren't able to promote them to management positions, and this group of industrialists was concerned that they were having to send their engineers to MBA school. And the MBA program wasn't giving them what they wanted. They wanted a technical program that would bridge engineering to business. So the university president put together a committee of educators and industrialists and came up with an engineering management program. That engineering management program has stayed pretty much intact as far as the 4 courses are concerned over the years. We find that if you look at a definition here, engineering management is equivalent to an MBA engineers. The degree will set up you to succeed in your career, not just your first job. That's what it was designed for, to accommodate people who have been working in the engineering field for a period of time, or for those new graduates who aspired to become managers. We like to think of the engineering management program as a bridge between technology and business. We could forward the slide there. One of the things that we found over the years since those 1960 days, industry has a need for professionals who have management skills and engineering knowledge as well. And so that sets the stage for our engineering management program. We focus on theoretical, quantitative, and analytical skills. So we make, in the required courses, we make it such that we touch on both quantitative, analytical skills and theoretical mathematics that will give you the kind of skill set that you need in order to be successful as an engineering manager. Mathematical decision-making is one of the primary skill sets that we focus on. We could move forward here. So when we think of engineering management, we think of a program that has been designed to help you to go from your entry-level job into a management position. I'm going to talk a little bit about the curriculum. I'm going to talk a little bit about admissions, give you some idea. We do require the graduate record exam for all persons who have not attended certain universities here in the United States. There are some schools that we waive the graduate record exam, but if you are from a university outside of the United States, it's more than likely you will have to take the graduate record exam. In terms of academics, we require a minimum of 3.0 of a 4.0 scale. There are some adjustable scales that we often encounter that call us and ask us about them if you have any questions. The TOEFL, if you are not English speaking or you have not come from a school where it is English speaking, we do require the TOEFL or the IELTS. The score is 79 is a minimum. Many times we have students asking us, do I have to have work experience? We prefer that you have some work experience, but it's not absolutely required. We look mostly at the GRE scores and your academic record. The program is made up of 32 semester hours, and you can do your 32 semester hours in 4 different ways. First of all, you can take all coursework. Our courses are offered in 4 semester hour increments. Each course is worth 4 semester hours. So we're looking at an 8 semester hour program where you get 4 courses of 16 hours of required courses or 4 courses and 16 hours of electives, giving you the total of 32 hours. The project option, if I can have the next slide, please. The project option is one that's designed for people that are working in industry, where they have an opportunity to develop a master's project from data that they collect in industry. They do have to work with a faculty member, so you need to be fairly close to the university here at the university if you're going to take the project option. Essentially what it is it lets you showcase your ability to identify a problem and write an engineering report. That is to demonstrate your engineering skill set through a report. The second option, or the third option I should say, is the THESIS option, where you work with a faculty member in a particular research area. This is generally a project that has been generated by a faculty member, where the faculty member advertises for students who are interested in working in a certain research area. Most of the time, this is a situation where a faculty member has received a grant or has received money to move forward and to do work in a particular research area, and they want students to help them out. It's centered on discovering new tools and techniques for solving engineering problems. So really, this is an option where you have to have a real deep interest in a particular area because it's doing cutting-edge research. The last option that we have is the online option, and essentially it's pretty much the same as the all-course option, except you take all of your courses online. All of the courses that are required for you to satisfy your core course requirement, all of those courses are offered online on a regular basis. It's the same courses as the coursework option, but it can be completed entirely online for those students that are not in the Boston area. We have probably about 10% of our students doing their master's program online by taking all courses. If we can see here that the required courses are deterministic operations research, which gives you a background and experience in modeling systems, modeling business systems, modeling engineering systems. Then economic decision making. Again, this is a modeling course where we model the economics of a situation to make a determination whether or not it's worthwhile for us as a company or us as an individual to invest in a particular alternative. Then we have probability and statistics. Of course, this is fundamental to all economic decision-making. It's fundamental to deterministic operations research. So this is a prerequisite for a lot of the elective courses that you're going to take in your engineering management program. Then we have project management, and this is a fundamental course that is offered which involves both deterministic operations research and economic decision-making, where you learn how to take and formulate and strategize how to manage a project, and then when and where you're going to make economic decisions and when and where you're going to build mathematical models to make decisions with regard to whether to progress with the project or to terminate a project at a particular time. So if you look at what we have here, we have business courses that are offered on a regular basis and traditional engineering courses that are offered on a regular basis. And the 16 hours of electives are what makes up the multidisciplinary engineering. You see here there's a link that's given at the top of the screen here where you can get a sense of what some of those elective courses are. Here's a sample of some of the electives. I know it's very hard for you to read that on the screen. I think we've got probably, my guess is probably about 50 electives listed here. Each one of them is generally offered every year. We try to offer some of them more than once a year. There are some popular ones that are popular with industry in and around the Boston area here. Supply chain management, for example, we offer that course on a regular basis, supply chain engineering. There are some courses that are offered outside of the College of Engineering, and those are business school offered in the business school, the DeMoore McKim Business School here at Northeastern. You'll notice if you look way over on the right-hand side of the page that's shown on the screen right now, it says ENTR. These are entrepreneurship courses, and then you'll see MGSC, those are management science courses, and SCHM, those are supply chain management courses. So you can see there's a number of courses that are offered in the business school that can be taken as electives. If you look way over on the left-hand side, you'll see that EMGT, that's engineering management, and TYSE, that's computer systems engineering. You'll see that those courses are offered on a regular basis too. Courses like manufacturing, one of them being mass customization, another one being data mining for engineering applications and manufacturing methods and processes. All of these courses are offered on a regular basis so that you have plenty of courses to take for your 16 hours of electives, many of which are very popular with industry and prepare you to go out onto your co-op job. If I can have the next slide, Jeffrey.
It looks like we're going to transition into discussing about the cooperative education program. So before we move on, I'll just let all of our participants know that Professor Cullinane will be on the session and for the duration of the session, and we hope that you have some questions about the program today. And so Professor Cullinane will be happy to answer those questions for you. So you can type them into the chat window at any time, but most likely we'll be answering those questions at the end of our session. So by way of introduction to our next topic, let me say that many students decide to apply and decide to attend, if admitted, Northeastern University for the opportunity to compete for co-op positions as part of their degree plan. So here to tell you a little bit more about the cooperative education program is one of our co-op faculty members, Mr. John Bleakney.
Good morning. My name is John Bleakney, and I'm one of the co-op advisors for the engineering management program. I want to tell you a little bit more about the benefits of the co-op and how we're here to help you. As you can see from this screen, that what we like about the program is you take some classes first here at Northeastern, and then you find out your co-op. You can apply your knowledge from your classes to your co-op. And then from there, you go back and take more classes here at Northeastern. You have what we call experiential learning. So it's a great idea, great concept, and a lot of people have found it very helpful in their career search and their career path. What we try to do is we combine the academic study with career-related employment. Graduate engineering students in co-op is increasing. We had over 400 placements last year. And what we try to do is we have those placements relate to over 120 plus active employers. The average salary or hourly rate is anywhere between $18 and $35 an hour. And you can see on the right-hand side of the screen some of the companies that we place co-ops with. Eversource, Dell, Wayfair, many big companies, and there's a lot more there. A lot more jobs out there as well. One thing we like to say is, in order to become part of a co-op, you need to have completed 16 credit hours, which is 1 year, academic year, a passing of a career management class, which we teach, and co-ops are not guaranteed. By guaranteeing this, we will help train you or help prepare you to put your best foot forward in the career co-op search. Go to the next slide, please. As your co-op advisor, we play many different roles. We're an instructor, we're a coach, we're actually your partner. We help motivate and we help train you. As you enter into the Northeastern University and as part of the engineering program, you'll be assigned a co-op advisor. And we are there to help you along the way. We provide you with the skills and strategies to search for your co-op, and most importantly, we help you build your confidence so that when you apply for your co-op, as I like to say, you put your best foot forward. And we give you the opportunities to help move you forward in your career search and your co-op search. And that's the co-op piece in a nutshell. And I'd be happy to answer any questions throughout the webinar.
Okay, thank you, John. Once again, Professor Cullinane and Mr. John Bleakley will stay on the line for program and co-op related questions that you may have, which we'll answer towards the end of our session today. A quick couple of slides on opportunities for our current students at Northeastern University within the Graduate School of Engineering, and as part of the engineering management, experience. Students can join the student chapter of the American Society for Engineering Management. I believe this is relatively new at Northeastern, so it presents a great opportunity for students in the program. So, as you might know, when you think about your experience pursuing your graduate degree, you can think of it in two big parts. One part is the program that you're pursuing, the courses that you're taking, which Professor Cullinane provided an overview of. And the program offers tremendous flexibility for students to build their program in many ways and to customize it towards their interests. So that's one half of your experience while you're pursuing your degree. The other half is everything outside of the classroom, outside of the courses that you're taking. So co-op is part of your program, but it's also, in a sense, something apart from it also. Another thing that students do to ensure their success is to network with each other and to join relevant professional organizations. And so this is an example of that. So students can develop themselves professionally. They can attend events, network with speakers in the industry. They can further their own development by seeing the linkages between what they're studying in class and how that theory and practice plays out in industry. And then there's, of course, the social aspect to networking as well. So this is a student chapter that we encourage our engineering management and other graduate School of Engineering students to join. One thing that we want to present to you today is the option of pursuing a graduate certificate along with the Master of Science degree. So as we speak here today, there are well over 150 Master of Science students in the Graduate School of Engineering, not just engineering management, but across all of our programs, who are also pursuing a graduate certificate program. And so basically it represents an opportunity for students to join Northeastern University and to add to their credentials. So when a student graduates with their Master of Science degree, they can also graduate with a graduate certificate. And the graduate certificate is something they can put on their resume. It's recognized on the official university transcript. And in most cases, a student can graduate with a master's degree and a graduate certificate without taking extra courses, as this slide portrays. So, of course, you have to take the core courses. Those are required of all engineering management students. But then they can substitute, basically, or replace the 16 credits of elective courses with courses that relate to one of these or other graduate certificates that we offer. So if you look at our Graduate School of Engineering website, you'll see there's actually 15 certificate programs that people can pursue in addition to their master's degree. These that you're seeing on your screen are those that relate highly to the engineering management program and are some of the most popular, I guess you could consider to be specializations or concentrations within the engineering management field. So if any of these particular titles or areas of study interest you, then consider pursuing the Master of Science degree in engineering management with a graduate certificate in one of these particular areas. Most graduate certificates are comprised of 4 or more courses, and so, in some cases there's a prescribed set of 4 courses that you'll take to complete your certificate, which will also relate to your engineering management Master of Science degree. Some of the certificates will offer some flexibility, so there'll be more than 4 courses on the program menu, so to speak, which you can choose from to complete the certificate. So most certificates require the completion of 4 courses. So once again, you take your 4 core courses in engineering management, and then you complete 4 courses towards one of these graduate certificates, and then you satisfy the requirements of both the Master of Science in Engineering Management and your graduate certificate of choice. Once again, this is something that we're seeing is very popular among our students. It gives them an extra credential to list on their resume, and once again is officially recognized on the Northeastern University transcript. If you are officially accepted to the Engineering Management Master of Science program, then you are automatically admissible to most of the graduate certificates that we offer. So if you're listening along today and you're already officially accepted for the spring to the Engineering Management program, you can right now, today, submit an application to also pursue a graduate certificate in one of these areas or any graduate certificate that is on our graduate certificate menu. The complete menu is available on our website. Okay, so moving along to our last topic, and once we cover these last few slides, then we'll start looking at some of the questions that you have for us. So I'd like to talk about the idea of investing in your career. Pursuing a Master of Science degree at Northeastern University is a significant investment of time and effort and money. So this gives you some sense for what the cost of education will be. This academic year, the cost per credit hour within the Graduate School of Engineering is $1,523 per credit hour. Most Master of Science degrees at Northeastern are 32 credits. Some are a bit more. The engineering management has a 32 credit hour requirement. So you can do the math on what the tuition costs will be. Students that pursue the cooperative education program need to take a co-op preparation course, and that course is billed at 1 semester hour of credit. So you'll add 1 to that 32. And most students that pursue their engineering management degree at Northeastern also are interested in the co-op program. It's not required, but it's an option that most students pursue Therefore, you can expect to add 1 additional credit hour to that tuition cost. Fees are about $500 per year. Full-time students at Northeastern, which is most of our students, are also required to have health insurance by the state of Massachusetts. Most students take advantage of the Northeastern University Health Insurance Plan, so that's about $2,100 per year. So once again, you can do the math on some of the academic costs. Sometimes we use a figure of $70,000 or $80,000 as the total cost to pursue your engineering management degree over the course of 2 years in Boston. So that gives you some sense for this significant investment that you're making. Why invest in your career? To experience the return on your investment, getting the job that you want, building knowledge and skills, having the opportunity to work in industry as part of your program, linkages to the field via co-op, and of course Northeastern University being around for over 100 years. We have an awful lot of alumni, and so there's great networking opportunities for students that pursue their degree here. I sometimes, or I should say frequently, compare the idea of pursuing an engineering management degree or your graduate degree in engineering to any other professional who's hoping to advance in their field of study. So aspiring physicians, aspiring lawyers, they invest heavily in their personal development, academic development, in order to get the job they want. Every time your degree level goes up, a couple things happen. Unemployment goes down, and your job prospects go up. You do more interesting, more challenging work, and of course your lifetime salary potential goes quite high, actually. So there are a few thoughts about the investment that you're making and the return on your investment. So a little bit more about financing. The vast majority of Master of Science students, not only in engineering management, but all of Northeastern's Master of Science programs, finance their education entirely through the use of personal and family funds. Many students I've seen over the past couple of years will take out educational loans to help cover their education costs. We already know that cooperative education is an option for our students. Many hundreds of students every year pursue co-op as part of their degree plan. Most co-op positions are well-paying, and so if you do a 4 or 6 or 8 month co-op in the middle of your degree program, you're working full-time. It's a full-time position. You're making on average $25 per hour. You can do the math on the significant salary that a co-op student could make to help defray those educational costs. Co-op is not guaranteed, as Mr. Bleakney said, so we can't count on that as a source of finances, but for many of our students that helps tremendously. Most students, including international students, also work part-time while they're pursuing their degree. In speaking with our international students, many of them tell me that they're successful in finding part-time work, so that's another non-guaranteed potential source of funding. And when you apply to Northeastern University, you're automatically considered for partial tuition scholarships. We call them Dean scholarships. The vast majority of MS students don't receive any type of scholarship or assistance from the College of Engineering. But very few highly qualified applicants will receive some type of tuition scholarship. This past cycle, the top 3% of our admitted students received some type of tuition scholarship. With the hundreds of applicants that we receive, it's very, very few receive that offer. But if you're lucky enough to be selected, we'll notify you. Unfortunately, if you're not selected, we will not notify you. But just know that you're automatically considered for those opportunities. Okay, so before I say some concluding remarks and we turn our session over to you to answer some of your questions, I want to acknowledge that those of you joining us today, some of you are already officially accepted to the Engineering Management Program, so I'd like to congratulate you on your acceptance. Within the last couple of days, a large batch of applicants have received their, or will receive within the next day, their official decision. So if you're an applicant and you're waiting on your decision, you may be notified within the next day of your official, the official decision. For the rest of you, we're hoping to conclude our review process within about the next week or so. So if you're waiting on hearing your decision, you'll be hearing from us very soon. Regardless of your status, if you applied, we really hope that you're excited about the opportunity to pursue your engineering management degree should you be officially accepted to the program. Some of you joining us today are prospective students, so you're just investigating Northeastern and the engineering management program. So we hope you learn enough to decide to apply to the program. Some of you joining today, or I should say some that were invited to this session, are applicants to some of our other programs, in particular industrial engineering. Engineering management and industrial engineering share some similarities in terms of the course options. So some industrial engineering students will change their program at some point to pursue engineering management because of the flexibility that it offers. Some students, when they're looking for jobs, if they're an industrial engineering student, a lot of times they meet the requirements to graduate with their engineering management degree, and they actually want to market themselves as an engineering management graduate instead of industrial engineering. So I've seen that happen in the past. So because of the similarities in the program, some industrial engineering applicants were invited to this session today. Okay, so a couple of things upcoming. This coming Thursday, we're going to have an expanded session because of so many students are interested in the cooperative education program to learn more about that program. So it's going to be an entire webinar session devoted to the cooperative education program. And because of growing interest in our graduate certificate programs, we're going to have a separate session on that 1 week from today. So if you're interested in these topics, please visit the website that's referenced on the screen and plan to attend those events. As always, we'll be sending you reminders, so feel free to monitor your email and we'll make sure that you get an invitation to these events. Okay, this particular website that we're referencing on this slide is sort of a catch-all for information for students who are interested in Northeastern's multidisciplinary MS programs. So you may have visited this page. If so, it will look familiar to you. You can see engineering management in the upper right-hand corner. But we offer a whole host of other programs that we describe as multidisciplinary: information systems, energy systems, and others. And this is where you can find more information. You can learn about upcoming events. You can fill out a form and express interest. So please visit this website for more information. So it's about 20 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to hang on this webinar session and answer any questions that you might have. Let me turn off my microphone for a couple of minutes and monitor the kinds of questions that we're getting in our chat window, and then we'll facilitate a bit of Q&A and probably conclude our session in the next 10 minutes or so. So let us know what questions you have, and we'll answer as many questions as we can over the next 10 minutes or so. Okay, Professor Cullinane, there's a few program-specific questions that we want to answer. So let me start with a question posed by one of our participants who's basically saying that they have a background in the automotive industry, and they're interested in pursuing potentially their engineering management degree. In particular, what are your thoughts about a person in a particular industry who wants to pursue their engineering management degree, using automotive industry as an example? How would the engineering management degree benefit them?
Well, first of all, the student should have a background in calculus, and you do need a strong background in mathematics in your undergraduate program. Now, there are several different types of automotive engineering that do not involve calculus and differential equations to any great extent. And under those circumstances, I advise a student to do some preparatory work to get a background in calculus 1, 2, and 3 and differential equations before they enter into our program. Now, for those students that go to automotive engineering programs that do include the necessary mathematics in order to be accepted into the engineering management program, the potential is great for them. They have the same chances of getting good management positions after completing their degree in engineering management as any other program.
Okay, thank you, Professor Cullinane. One other follow-up question here. One of our participants is asking about the importance of having related job experience to their, experience as a student in the program and their potential success, career success following graduation. So comment a little bit more about the importance of related work experience before pursuing your engineering management degree.
Naturally, it's always useful to have work experience. That's why our engineering management program is very successful with respect to cooperative education. Students are able to get some work experience through the cooperative education program. But if you have work experience before you come into the program, essentially what you're going to be doing is refining your decision-making skills in that particular discipline.
Okay, thank you. I don't have the data in front of me, but I know that there's an awful lot of new students that join the engineering management program that don't have relevant work experience. So it's a very popular program for students that don't have a background. So it is a program that those students can pursue, and they can find career success with the program.
For those students that don't have work experience, I suggest that you pursue one of the certificates. The certificates kind of pave the path for going into a particular discipline. For example, supply chain management is a big area where students that have an undergraduate degree in almost any of the engineering disciplines, when they take the certificate in supply chain management, it sets them up to do a lot of things in those other disciplines that make it such that they're very attractive to employers.
Okay, one participant today is asking about the average number of new students coming into engineering management each year. I'll start by saying that looking at the numbers, we had 200 plus new engineering management students join us this past fall, so just 3 or 4 weeks ago. Well over, many more than 200 new students joined the program this previous year.
Let me give the student just some insight. When I started directing the program back in the mid-1990s, there were 59 students in our program, and now we currently have 625. So that'll give him some idea as to the popularity of the program among industry. Educational programs don't grow at the rate that we have grown at if they're not popular in industry. Many of our students are being sent to Northeastern with tuition paid by the company because they want them to have an engineering management degree.
Professor Cullinane, another question. Actually, it's a kind of a theme of a couple of questions that have come up. Compare and contrast, if you will, the engineering management program to industrial engineering. Can an engineering management student take industrial engineering electives? Can an industrial engineering student take engineering management electives? And any other thoughts that you have in comparing and contrasting those programs?
The engineering management students can take industrial engineering electives. As a matter of fact, especially if they're in the manufacturing area, we do encourage them to. But you have to remember that our main goal is to educate students to make economic decisions, to do modeling from a business perspective. So we focus more on the business aspect of engineering management, focus more on the business aspect of the industrial engineering discipline. Interestingly enough, if a student wanted to, they could almost do an industrial engineering degree as part of their engineering management program. I'm not certain why they would want to do that. They would just, without just doing an industrial engineering degree, but they are close enough so that if you take the proper electives or the select electives in a particular way, you can almost get your industrial engineering degree. I'm not sure that I would recommend doing that, but it is possible to do it.
Another question for you, Professor Cullinane. One participant joining us today is interested in structuring their engineering management degree towards more sort of business interests. So talk about how an engineering management student would structure their course if they were interested in, let's say, management or even marketing and other sort of more business-related functions.
Well, we allow students to take up to 9 hours outside of the College of Engineering as electives. So they could possibly pursue 3 courses outside of the College of Engineering. Those 3 courses, of course, have to come together to form a sensible program of study. One would think that if they wanted to do something in marketing, that it would be marketing of technical products or technical materials. So I work closely with students who are taking courses in the College of Business, and the answer to that question is, and a very simple answer is yes, you can do it, but yes, but. And but means that you do it in a systematic way, and you take courses which fit together to give you a comprehensive program of study.
One thing I'd like to encourage any prospective student interested in engineering management is to visit the website where you can find the entire list of approved electives which students can pursue. And it's very simple because you see this entire list of courses, and you don't want to just look at the course titles. You want to look at the course description. So click on any course, and you can see a description of that particular course, and you can have some sense for where that course is offered. Is it an industrial engineering course? Is it a business course? Is it a computer-related course? And so we encourage our students, even before they maybe apply, certainly before they enroll, to be very familiar with the degree plan and the options. And when they, attend our orientation session, they already have a clear sense for how they want to structure their program. So new students will have an opportunity to meet with Professor Cullinane and get guidance on what courses make sense for them to pursue, given their particular interests. So if you haven't done so, please spend a good amount of time on our website getting familiar with all of the elective course options and start to, build your degree plan. This is the degree plan that you hope to pursue should you be accepted and should you enroll in the engineering management program. Okay, we have a question for Mr. Bleakney in the cooperative education area. Common question, students who want to pursue co-op. The question is, comment a little bit on how a student can increase their chances of success in finding a co-op position.
This is John Bleakney. That's a great question. A couple things. In order to be eligible for co-op, you need to have 16 credit hours. On top of that, you need to pass our class, the career management class called ENCP 6000. And the third thing you need is a minimum of a GPA of 3.0 or higher. With that said, the way to increase your possibility of getting co-op is to work with your advisor, such as myself, to learn about building a resume, a cover letter, improving your elevator pitch, and your interviewing skills and techniques. And the more you practice, the more you have people review your resumes and cover letters and your elevator pitches and interviewing skills, the higher the likelihood of you securing a co-op. And remember, a co-op is there for you to take the experiences you learned in classes and apply it to your job, your co-op, and then from there, take your experiences from your co-op and apply that to your other classes and then your career path.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bleakney. One question that popped up is in the admissions area, so let me speak to that. One of our participants today is asking about the importance of the GRE to our admissions review process. The GRE, as Professor Cullinane said, is required of most of our applicants, and we typically look for a candidate who's achieved at least a score in the 61st percentile or higher. And even in that case, acceptance is not guaranteed, but that is gives you some sense for what our GRE quantitative score standard is. And the reason for that is the engineering management program is highly quantitative. And so we want to admit students to the program who we think are going to be successful and who have strong quantitative skills. So the most important aspects that are considered is the GREQ performance, and also students, if the GREQ is a little bit less than the 61st percentile, then we'll look at your math courses and your performance in math courses as an undergraduate student. A student can achieve less than a 61st percentile GRE quantitative score result and still be accepted. They just have to show other strength in their background. So whether it be work experience, whether it be, strong undergraduate GPA or strong performance in mathematics courses, we need to see some strength in some other element of your application. Okay, so we have about 5 more minutes before the top of the hour. Let's see what other questions you have for us.
Excuse me, Jeff?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I see a question regarding job fairs, and I wanted to reply to that. The school offers 2 job fairs a year, one in October, and the other one is in February. This past week, we had one with over 260 employers. It was very well attended, and that's the first start for people to begin their co-op search and to hopefully secure interviews and move on from there.
Okay, great, thank you. A couple of questions popping up from attendees who are asking about our deadlines and maybe our review process. Some of you joining us today have applied for a spring 2018 entry to the program with courses beginning in early January. For most applicants, it's too late to apply if you haven't already applied for spring consideration. But if you've already applied and if you've, arranged to have official GRE scores or other test scores sent to us, as long as those are received usually around the mid-October time frame, and even can be a little bit towards the end of October, if you've taken the GRE or if you've retaken the GRE and you're having scores sent to us, usually we'll have enough time to complete our review process in time for spring entry. So our deadlines are flexible. Students can sometimes apply after a deadline has passed. The real deadline for most international students who are coming from outside the U.S. is the deadline to initiate the I-20/F1 visa process. That deadline is usually in mid-November timeframe. So most I-20 requests we receive between mid-October and mid-November. The spring cycle is a very tight cycle. It only lasts for a few months, but we haven't seen significant problems with spring applicants being able to initiate the I-20 process as late as mid-November in order to attend classes beginning in early January. So don't worry, we still have about 6 weeks to complete our review process and for new students to initiate the I-20 process by mid-November timeframe. Okay, so it's just now at the top of the hour. In the interest of time, let's conclude our session today. On your screen here, you have Professor Cullinane's direct email address. Professor Cullinane's very responsive via email, and so he's happy to get back in touch with you should you have any other questions. We encourage you to visit the URL at the top of the screen, which is sort of a catch-all website where you can learn more about our programs, you can fill out a form and express your interest. I believe we'll be posting recordings of these sessions there. So bookmark that site and please visit it often. If you have admissions or other types of inquiries, you can always send them to our central support center, which is husky.desk.com. There's a few more questions popping up on our chat window, so we'll answer a handful of questions using chat only, and then we'll turn off our session probably around 10 minutes past the hour. So once again, let me thank you for joining us today. We hope you learned a lot, and we wish you the best of luck in this very competitive admissions process.